Ngayong araw sa PTV Sports Chat, dumalo ang legendary coach na si Joe Lipa upang magbigay ng update sa kanyang mga pinagkakaabalahan ngayon. Sama ni Coach Joe si Peter Lopez, binahagi ng dating national mentor ang mga detalye sa kanyang mga libro ukol sa basketball, pati na rin ang ilan sa mga di niya makakalimutang alaala sa kanyang karera. Panoorin po natin ito.
Welcome to another episode of PTV Sports Chat. For today, I am honored to have two respectable coaches. One of them, a very legendary coach. Please welcome Coach Joe Lipa and Coach Peter Lopez.
Good evening, Brian. Thank you so much for inviting us to the show. We are really honored to be your guest. And to all the listeners of PTV4, magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Yon. Coach?
Yeah, hi, Brian. Salamat, inanyaan mo kami dito. And I'd like to greet all your viewers, tsaka yung mga netizens na nag-aabang nitong programa mo dito sa PTV4. We are so grateful that you invited us here.
Yon. Coach, it's been a while. I mean, your name was a boom in the 80s. But to this day, you remain involved in the game in one capacity or another. Maybe you could give us an update on ano ba yung pinagkakaabalahan nyo ngayon?
Well, ang pinagkaabalaan ko for the past 6 months, rather 6 months, rather the past 5 years, is that I've been involved as a tournament official. I was the commissioner of different collegiate leagues, okay? And then lately, Peter and me decided to write a book. And initially, Peter asked me if we could write my memoirs as a coach. But I told him, Peter, what I'm thinking of is writing a book. If you could help me write a book, something which could help Philippine basketball. And that is a book that will teach Filipinos how to play basketball. And that's where it started. Yun ang pinagkabala namin ngayon ni Peter, finishing this book. And the title is Basketball 101.
Okay. Coach Peter, when I first met you, pinag-uusapan natin basketball. Interview natin mga players. Ngayon, hindi ko alam na meron ka palang talent na magsulat ng ganyan. Can you tell us more about this book? And where did it start?
Yeah, actually, thank you for asking that question. No? So, siyempre, yung natin, our initial engagement was the podcast. No?
Yeah.
So, I was involved in youth basketball. So, I consider myself as a purist. So, old school, 80s. And I grew up wanting to play for this guy right here. No? I'm from San Beda, Alabang. And I honed my craft to qualify to be a UP Maroon. But it did not pan out. So, yung mga experiences na yun, it led me to this. It's like serendipity.
There is no doubt, no one can argue that you were the first coach to have the University of the Philippines their first UAAP title in 1986. To this day, Coach, naalala mo ba yun?
Yeah, alam mo, yung 1986, first of all, napakaswerte ko nung taon na yun. Okay? The UP community was very supportive from the late Senator Angara was the president at the time, the UP community, and then I was blessed with very talented players. Napakaswerte ko ng taon na yon, and I think that team deserves the championship.
From there, sunod-sunod na coach naging national coach kayo, which is another first because you coach a team without any naturalized players. How do you take that?
Well, it was one of the biggest challenge of my life, my coaching life, and maybe also one of the biggest challenge for the players individually and as a team, because that team was much maligned. Okay, kawawa kami nun sa dyaryo. Every time we were being lambasted in the papers. Okay, a lot of people were saying that huwag nyo na ipadala yung team na yan. 12 pag maglalaban, pang-13 yan. Okay, in other words, every day nakapako kami sa krus. Nobody believed the team, but the team believe in themselves, the players work hard, and I would also say, I really work hard. And with God's blessing, we won what they say at the Golden Bronze. And that Golden Bronze, pag naaalala ko, kinikilabutan pa ako. Because I think it was one of the most controversial calls I've ever seen in my life. Okay? If you would call it, was the charging foul against Alan Kaidik. And also, from that incident, the review yung tape, I think the best one is, it could go either way, with charging or blocking. But I think the best call there should be no whistle. And I would say na, lahat ng player ngayon, ang sarap kukoachan. And I think mga players ngayon is, the essence of professionalism is more ingrained in them. Okay? Now, the players now, most of them handle themselves physically and mentally. And a lot also handles themselves financially well.
Ang dami ko bang gusto tanungin, kaya lang.
Yeah.
Kulang tayo sa oras eh. So before we end, I'd like to give you the floor. Maybe if
Yeah.
you want to greet anybody or shout out.
Thank you so much for inviting us here. And to all of these listeners in PTV4, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the show. And the book is now available. And I'm sure those who like to teach the game or study the game, I'm sure the book will be very helpful for you.
For sure yan, Coach. For sure. Ako, tagal ko nagandang artist ngayon, si
Yeah.
Coach Joe.
Oh.
When I was coaching, I was looking for those kinds of books.
Yes, yes.
Yun, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our time with Coach Peter and Coach Joe. Catch us on our next episode.